Good morning everybody, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. And this morning I come to you from atop of the harbour bridge. It's a glorious sunrise. We've got Fort Denison out there silhouetted in the middle of the harbour against that golden dawn, that beautiful bright morning. It's a beautiful day. It's mild, it's winter, but you'd swear it was spring or summer. I'll just show you the cityscape. Sydney's just waking up to another day. I'm up here on the harbour bridge. As you can see, the flag is gently waving there in the breeze. It's a beautiful light westerly coming through. It's mild. It's just a wonderful day. I love this time of year. Anyway, whilst I've got you here, I want to have a walk and talk style of vlog today, where we just walk and chat, and I'll head back to Circular Quay and just chat about a topic that I've got near and dear to my heart. What I'd love to do today is talk to you about a chapter in my life where I learnt about my father-in-law and just the wonder of science, of medicine, and how never to underestimate the human spirit. My father-in-law came to Australia back in the early 50s and got married to his beautiful wife Artemis, who my youngest daughter has taken her name, and they had 3 children, of which Paula, my wife, is the eldest daughter. So he had 3 daughters, Paula, Mariota, Elpida, Quejara, and they were all born here in Australia, in Tully, because my father-in-law Theodore worked in the sugarcane fields up there at Cairns, in Tully, and in Cardwell. Anyway, to cut a long story short, after a few years up in Tully, they came down to live in Wollongong. But what happened was that my father-in-law Theodore got ill and contracted lung cancer at a very early age. And what the doctors did back then was they did a pioneering surgery where they removed part of his lung, which was very advanced for those years, and that helped him survive that initial bout of lung cancer. The problem is that soon afterwards, obviously the cancer had metastasized. He had a tumour in his head, which also had to be removed by surgery. And the doctors basically said to him and to my mother-in-law that Theodore's future was going to be limited. He didn't have much to live, given that he'd had lung cancer and a brain tumour. So they broke the bad news to them. Theodore's brother in Greece heard of the bad news and said to his brother, "Why don't you pack up your children and your wife and come back to Greece so we can look after you and look after your family?" So my father-in-law and his wife and 3 daughters went back to Greece. And when he went back to Greece there, expecting to only live for a few months with his terminal illness, all of a sudden he started to feel better. And he didn't die. He didn't die within those first 6 months. The life sentence that the doctors had given him, and he went on to have a fairly normal sort of life. He worked, he earned an income, he brought up his daughters, he built a polykatekia, so he started to amass wealth in Athens. So they built a polykatekia in Argyroupoli, just next to where his brother had built his polykatekias. So to cut a long story short, Paula came to Australia for a holiday and we met up here. We fell in love. One thing led to another, and we announced our marriage and our engagement. And my mother-in-law and father-in-law travelled to Australia with Paula's younger sister, Kara, to attend the wedding on the 26th of October 1985. Anyway, so Theodore lived long enough to not only bring up his daughters, but to build a nest egg for the family. He came to Australia and walked his daughter down the aisle, and we went away on our honeymoon, all happy, all good, and everything was just magical. Anyway, once we come back from our honeymoon, my father-in-law had a cough and coughed up some blood, which was not a good sign. We went to the doctor, went to the specialist, and we discovered that for a strange reason, his lung cancer had returned. After so many years, he came back to Australia, and his lung cancer seemed to kick off again. Don't know if it was the climate, don't know what caused it, but that's a real story. So we went to the doctor, went to the specialist, and the specialist who was looking after my father-in-law was Professor Despas. And I remember being in the surgery when the professor was talking to my father-in-law, and he was massaging his glands on his neck from behind, and he says, Mr. Petropoulos, you have lived a miraculous existence. As a young student, I remember studying your case at university. That pioneering surgery that they did to remove part of your lung was something that was amazing, and I just can't believe that you're still alive. Anyway, the prognosis was that this time round my father-in-law was not going to be able to live long, so what we did, sadly, was we organised for chemotherapy and radiotherapy to get him well enough to once again go back to Greece to live out his final days. So what's the lesson here? The lesson here is never ever give up hope. Never ever give up hope. Just because a doctor, just because a professor says that you've only got 6 months to live, be like Theodore Petropoulos. He lived for 21 years. Not only did he live, but he lived well. He brought up his family. He built some wealth. He got an opportunity to come to Australia to give away his daughter at her wedding. Coincidentally, the other good news is that as soon as we got married, and once we found out that Paula's dad was ill again, we decided to try to start a family. and thank God Paula fell pregnant straight away. So we had some good news to tell Theodore that his daughter was pregnant. But the great news is that Theodore lived long enough to wait until his first granddaughter was born. And I sent photos to Greece. So he saw the photos of Katerina, and he heard her crying on the phone because we called, and my mother called, and my daughter was crying, and he turned to his wife Artemis Kelei, Artemis, Yiname Papus Keyeya. And a week after that, he passed away. So once again, the big lesson is don't give up. Don't give up, because nobody knows when you're going to die. Nobody knows when your last day is. So continue going strong. Let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I'm well, and I feel great. To all my friends and family, stay well, stay connected to each other, stay connected to your communities, stay connected to your faith, your culture, stay connected to your traditions, and stay relevant. Be relevant. Don't give up. And be like my father-in-law. Just keep on going. Just keep on cranking away. Don't live in misery. Don't live in negative hope that there's nothing to look forward to or nothing to do, because my father-in-law was able to close the loop and to finish his life as well, if not better, than most other people. He became a grandfather. He died in the country where he wanted to live his last days, and that's basically it for me. Until tomorrow, I look forward to chatting to you again on Jim's 5 a.m. Club. Thank you once again for taking the time to listen to my vlog for today. And it is a powerful message for all of us. Γεια σας, take care, και θα τα πούμε, σας αγαπάω. And until tomorrow, God willing, ciao, γεια σας, bye.